again, a doubleheader. Monday Night Football. This is the first of 5. We're going to have another doubleheader next week. And as I probably pretty much expected, Jaguars get ran over by the Bills, and Commanders and Bengals have a really good back and forth. Won't quite go with classic just because of the Bengals' ability or non-ability to put touchdowns on the board instead of field goals. That is an important part of the game, and they really couldn't punch it in the way the Commanders were able to punch it in. But first, Jaguars and Bills. Again, not much to really talk about. I try not to talk much about blowout games unless it's my team and the Cowboys, because there's not much to say. The Jaguars are bad in every aspect. They couldn't run, they couldn't pass. You had some of the players dropping passes, Lawrence throwing the ball at their feet. So, it was just bad from all fronts. The defense was bad. They couldn't tackle. They were leaving guys wide open. When you do those things, you're not going to win. It doesn't really matter who you are. They couldn't do it. So, 0-3 for the Jaguars, and it's going to be ugly. It's going to be an ugly season for them. Again, still early, but one thing we do know that's almost for certain: when you start 0-3 and 0-4 and 1-5 and all these types of things, you don't make the playoff. It's very rare, and you have to have that kind of quarterback and that kind of coaching staff and a different type of group of players in order to make it. So I don't think they have that. I think Trevor Lawrence, as sad as it is to say, I loved him when he was at Clemson. He was a part of that team that ran over Alabama in the national championship. But then, of course, the Tigers stopped him from winning another championship. So, that's what we do. But, no, he's not the guy. He really hasn't been the guy his entire career so far. And it sucks to say, but, like I said, he's got natural ability. It just hasn't shown up. And you can say he doesn't have weapons. He's got the rookie, also Brian Thomas Jr., of course, an LSU alumnus. But he was shaky early. He dropped a couple passes, but it's just not enough. And for this quarterback, I think his time, I think he's going to get benched eventually. At some point this year, he's going to get benched. That's going to be hard for him, but he's just not playing very well. The whole team isn't playing well, but when your quarterback's not playing well, that's, your top paid guy. He just gave you all that money. And like I said, he just really hasn't played up to the standard his entire career so far. So it might be over for Trevor Lawrence after this year. They might need to invest because they're going to have a top pick, no question about it. So their playoff dreams are over. The Texans at this point can almost just lock up the division to me. Now, they did get run over by the Vikings, but I think that's an anomaly. You won't see that happen to the Texans more than once this season. But for me, Jaguars, they're going to win games because they have talent, enough talent, NFL pro talent to win games. But they'll be picking top 3 for the draft. And Doug Peterson, who I love as a coach, you got to coach him up a little better. You were able to get him to a divisional playoff game against the Chiefs, good solid game, had a chance to win. But other than that, it's been nasty work. So it's going to be a long road for Jaguars fans, and they're trying to do the new stadium and all that. Well, they better get a high draft pick. They better get one of these new up and coming quarterbacks in this next draft. Because there's a lot of them, and they could be in the sweepstakes. So and one thing that the NFL has shown, especially 3 weeks into the season, is that what you need and what you're going to have to have is depth. You got guys just falling down and getting hurt. it's an epidemic. It's been an epidemic for years in the NFL, but guys are just getting hurt. And so now more than ever, you need guys who are patient. You need guys who, when it's their time to step up, they're going to do it. Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, guys that, again, they got hurt early in their careers, and they struggled with the teams they were at, and they found resurgence. And that's what you want. We need those type of guys. There's nothing wrong with being a backup or being a third or whatever, because your time is going to come. Brock Purdy is a perfect example of that. It doesn't matter where you start, as though cliche goes, it's where you finish. And it's one of the most truest things, because, again, Brady's the same example. Started out under Bledsoe, he got hurt, he comes in, the rest is history. And decided to go with Brady instead. And you see what happens. So I think that it's value in waiting your turn. Now, there's also value in just going out trying somewhere else, but unless you're a guy like Peyton Manning or Brady or somebody of that ilk, you're not just going to go somewhere and have that success immediately. And that not just because you're not good. It's just, again, there's a lot of extenuating circumstances that prevent those things from happening. So I think that, again, depth is key, and we're going to find out about the depth of a lot of teams and who can survive without their top guys. The Niners aren't one of them. They're dropping left and right. Again, Williams got hurt. All of their weapons except Ayuk, and now Jennings is fine. But, so you have two weapons at receiver, but your explosiveness is completely gone when you lose all those guys. And I think Hargrave is done for the season. Post is always nicked up. So this season is over for the Niners. I'm just going to go ahead and stamp it. You lose to a Rams team with no Cup in Nakua, and no defense. And then last week you lost to the Vikings with extra weapons. So it's going to be a long season for the Niners. And not because they're not good. They can't stay healthy. So they're going to be hurt all year. And you can't win games losing some of your top stars like they have. It's just not going to work. Especially in that division when you got Kyler Murray healthy, Geno playing well, that Seahawks defense, and the Rams, who just beat them. It's going to be a long road for Niners fans. Great win for the Bills. They look better than ever. Honestly, it's the best they've looked since they've had Josh Allen, in my opinion. They can definitely get the 1 seed and try to host an AFC Championship game. Of course, they'll probably get a team like Kansas City, who they came into their building and beat them, but you'd still rather have that game. I mean, I'm sure Josh Allen doesn't really care. He's gone to Kansas City and played his butt off. His defense just couldn't hold on, and this defense looks ravenous right now with A.J. Epinesa and Edo and that company. Even without Milano and certain guys like Micah Hyde, guys they haven't, they let go, whatever the case. They look more ravenous. And that's what happens sometimes. You need to let go of some guys or trade them, or can't give them enough money, or whatever the case. Diggs is a perfect example. Again, it's early, but the Bills look great. The Texans really haven't looked great on offense all season. So, just saying, sometimes you got to let go of those guys. Michael Thomas from the Saints, we had to let him go. He was just hurt. Not that he wasn't great. We thank him for his time and everything he did, but we can't keep paying you money. You're not on the field. It's just business. It's just practical business sense. PBS. It's for kids. Practical business. What you got to teach the children. You can't just give free money away to people and they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Not that it's necessarily their fault that they keep getting hurt, but damn. Can't keep giving you millions of dollars to not produce. It's about the production. So, and you see how the Saints offense has looked, at least for the first 2 games. But I think we'll pick it up and get it together because we're going to have to when we go to Atlanta on Sunday. Rivalry game, division game. I would love for us to start 3-1. I wouldn't be mad if we ended up 2-2, but then those stakes, the doubt starts creeping in, and you start getting to a point to where people are saying, is this team for real, or was it just one of those teams that start out hot and then they falter? We don't want to be in that camp, so we need to get together. But anyway, Bills look like one of the best teams. They honestly, to me, are the best team in the NFL right now. They're the number 1 team. Chiefs, again, I understand they're undefeated, but again, they haven't looked good. And maybe, like I said, they'll end up getting the Super Bowl anyway, but again, we're talking about right now. And right now, they don't look good at all. They should be 0-3. But teams just can't seem to close them out. So the Bills, I don't think, will have that problem if they match up again. Because Allen, again, he's not taking risks. He's taking calculated risks, basically, where, if he's open, he's in an open area, he goes and gets the first down, he's going to slide instead of trying to dive. Now, if he gets to the goal line, he's going to dive and try to get in the end zone. That's just, that's pure football. But, I think he's getting, every year he gets smarter, every year he gets more accurate, every year he gets better. They just have to sustain that success all the way into the Super Bowl. And, I would love to see him in New Orleans for that Super Bowl. I think we need something different in the NFL. I think the NFL is the only sport where you don't really see nothing different, that rare. Every other sport, you see different combinations, different matchups, different fan bases involved. The Bills have been to Super Bowl since I was born. So I would love to see a team not named the Chiefs or Niners in the Super Bowl. Bills, hopefully my Saints, that would be great. Home Super Bowl. But people, Mardi Gras next month is the month after the Super Bowl. Do you understand how that would rock the foundation of my state for 2 months? I mean, the financial opportunities would just be. I mean, just imagine us winning. We get a Saints float with all the players on it. After, man, that would be awesome. Then maybe LSU or one of my Louisiana teams makes the playoff. They may not win it, but get to the playoff. Like, the city, New Orleans, the state of Louisiana would be, they're already indebted to their teams. But, man, you talk about the wildest 2 months that could possibly happen. We could have it. But, no, great job by the Bills. Josh Allen, MVP so far to me. He's number one. And the Bills are number one team. As far as the second game, Commanders and Bengals, wow. JD5 is alive and has arrived. Try to tell people. What did I say? See, you got to go back to the Cowboys breakdown schedule. I'm going to keep referring to that all season because, again, the analysis is on point. I said this kid could lead this team to the playoffs. But no, that's not. I don't want to hear nothing about the Bengals are 0-3, so they're not that good. Well, in their defense, they're missing a lot of pieces, to be fair. But most of those pieces were on the defensive end and tackle spot. So, come on now. He had pressure in his face for a good amount of time. And you know what he did in both those cases that he had pressure? Dropped a dime on the defense's head. They still had Hill and Williams and those boys back there. So I don't want to hear that. And the Commanders' defense was god-awful. So they just bowled up when they needed to in the red zone. And gave their quarterback the ball with a comfortable lead. And they never surrendered it. Never. They kept their foot offensively on the Bengals' neck. JD5, again, he's a guy that he's not stationary. If it's not there, if his reads first, second, third, possibly even fourth reads aren't there, he's gone. And he's going to get 1 to 5, or maybe a first down or something like that. That's something my team and Derek Carr, we don't have that luxury. So when you have that, now you must protect him, obviously. And that's why he gets knocked down. On that play where he got the first down, he got hit. His linemen are there to lift him back up. Hey, dust him off. Let's get back to work. I do think he's going to need to gain a little more weight. Probably 20 or 30 pounds. Just a little bit, just to bulk up. Not to siphon that speed off a little bit, but just enough to, this dude is frail as hell. But I need you to stay healthy to make this a great thing for the Commanders so they can make the playoffs. Because, again, after the first game, like, good season, it'll be all right. But I thought he played fine. There's times where he kind of doesn't see the field all the way, and he's got guys he just doesn't put it on him. He just decides to run. But again, he's a rookie. He's going to learn. He's only going to get better, folks. But that was his coming out party. JD5 is alive, baby. He is going to light this league up. And again, there's going to be a lot of defenses that are going to have to chase this young man all game long. And he's going to wear him out. And then you got Austin Eckler, and you got Brian Robinson Jr. as well. So they're going to wear out a lot of defenses. And they're, like I said, they're only going to get better. So don't look at that Bucs game and just think, that's not going to be enough. You just saw the Bucs get run over by the Broncos. You saw the Texans get run over by the Vikings. So these things are going to happen. The question is, more likely than not, how are you going to handle your season? And they bounce back. They get a tough division win against the Danny Dimes and the Giants, who just got to win. And then you come back on the road on Monday night, and it's Monday night debut, and show up my other LSU Heisman Trophy and national championship, Joe Burrow. Can't make it up. But I was excited for this game all year. And I'm glad I got it. And it was fun. It was entertaining. Again, the Bengals, they got a couple field goals. They actually missed one early. So that was really the difference in the game. Both defenses weren't good. It's just that the defense of the Commanders bulked up when they needed to in the red zone. And the Bengals defense didn't. And mostly because they couldn't stop JD5 running around and making extra plays. Because not only was he running to get first downs, he was running to throw. And that was a developmental thing. That was a growth thing by JD5. Joe Burrow, he looks healthy, he looks fine. And he played great. They just, I don't know. I mean, you got to get T. Higgins back involved. That'll take a little bit to get him kind of, and he was great as well. Chase was great. They just couldn't, they could not cash it in and match up touchdown for touchdown with this team. And that hurt them. They were able to run it pretty fine. I mean, the Brown kid and the Moss guy, Zach Long, they were able to run it pretty good. Those guys. Like I said, when the rubber needed to meet the road and they had penalties and things like that, they could not cash in touchdowns like they needed to. And that ultimately was the difference in the game. But Joe Burrow and JD5, I hope we get to see this matchup a lot more often. It's going to be fun to watch. Two Heisman Trophy winners, one national champ. They did great. I'm proud of them. And a great game. I knew when we do these Monday night, we're going to get one game that's likely not going to be good, but at least we get another one. Because if we only had Jaguars and Bills, this would have been a bad night. But the fact that we got to see the Bills take care of business and run over the Jaguars, you see DeMar Hamlin get his first career interception after what he went through, and then when him and Tua, that situation, like, wow. And that, got overshadowed because of JD5 and Joey B and the Bills beating the hell out of the Jaguars. But what a powerful moment when that happened. I was really excited for him. Obviously, the Bills fans went nuts. But what a powerful moment for Bills. But, yeah, NFL LSU classic. Not quite a classic, but a really great and entertaining game. And we were just up going nuts. When he made that throw on fourth down, or not fourth down, was it fourth down? I don't remember if it was fourth down or not, but when he made that, or maybe it was third down. That's what it was. It was probably third down. And that throw he made to pretty much seal the game. Listen, guys, his arc that he has on the ball might end up being the best in the NFL. Where his team ends up going from here, it's going to depend on their defense. Their defense is awful. Dan Quinn's going to have to figure that out at some point because you can't keep having that defense be that bad. And you're known for defense. You're known for getting turnovers. And they can't seem to get it done. So he's going to have to retool and figure out what he can do defensively. But if they can at least play marginal defense, this team can go not just make the playoffs, they can go far. Really. JD5 changes the entire dynamic of the NFC East. He turns that division into, the Eagles, those Eagles Commanders games, those Cowboys Commanders games, man, no matter where the game is, he's going to be able to light it up. So, can this defense do anything? And that's going to be the key. But no, great Monday night doubleheader. We get another doubleheader next week. We get Dolphins at Titans, two teams that can't win. One team's going to be done, and one team's going to have a little fight left after that game. And then, of course, the real main event, you get Seahawks at Lions. Remember the last time the Seahawks went there, they beat the Lions on the road, and that really sparked something for the Lions to start this run that they got on. So that'll be a fun game Monday night. But again, another doubleheader. I expect both games to be close because both teams are, at least on the first game, are trying to fight for a win. The other one is just a primetime game that should be a classic. So can't wait to see more of these doubleheader games. But great Monday night. I will have my college football week 5 picks coming up. Likely, well, today I'm going to do my after work basketball session. I do a little combination of a regimen that I like to do every so often. I always like to, do my little, I'll end up putting it out as to, what I do, but I always say I always do it. I don't leave the park until I finish. And sometimes I'll, as long as I get to a good number that I need to get to, I'll stop. But I always finish. Whenever I didn't finish that day, I'll finish the next time around. So that'll be my day. But eventually, once I get home, I'll get back to get my college picks going. And NFL picks. My dad's birthday is Thursday, and we'll be going out to watch that Cowboys game. So I really want to get those NFL picks done on Wednesday. So going to have a nice little schedule coming up. Like I said, later on today, expect college picks to be dropped tonight. And then Wednesday night, expect the NFL picks to be dropped. And we'll have all that stuff ready for you guys for this next week. But that's all I have for now. Hope you guys enjoy your Tuesday, and we'll talk with you later.